Hello guys and girls, welcome back to the Regulator of episode 9. I'm Ethan, and this week we're finally going to get around to volume 2 of the British Steel Mega Pack. At long last, we're back in Doncaster where we did the 9F enhancement video with a 82 in front of us with Flying Scotsman on. And now we're going to turn around and we'll go and do some review work. So in here, we've got everything from 501 down to 718. So we've got a 22 reskins for this pack. We also have the iconic pair of 37501 Teesside Steelmaster and 37502 British Steel Teesside. So we'll jump right into it, starting with 501. So here's 501 in the. This isn't rail fight. I think this is train load, I believe. Yeah, train load. So we've got lovely clean grey livery, black nameplate, absolutely gorgeous, 3D object, and all of that. 5-1 on the cab side, the stickers in the right place. As Sam mentioned in many in the interview, the stickers can't always be moved. I think that's just 47, but it might also apply to this as well. We've got the high intensity lamp, so very nice for that one. And we've got our sticker down here, which is a 37.5, which it is, which shows all our information. So that's excellent stuff. Going over to 37502 in the rail freight, red line. Very nice. So we've got that lovely livery coming down here. Yellow on the cab, orange line, the cant line is there. We've got her nameplate, British Steel Teesside, big number of side, and the network logo there. Keep on coming, and it's just fantastic. That is as well. Yep. So that's the same. And then we've got 503. Oh dear, 503 with Little Birdie, and name British Steel Shelton. These are all pretty similar. These ones. In fact, I think that's a faded kind of yellow, but I like that. That's a nice yellow. Yeah, there's definitely more yellow. And then we've got 504 and 503, British Steel Shelton, British Steel Corby. So very similar indeed in their liveries. We'll just check the back. We've also got 506, which is British Steel Workington. Sorry, 505 even. Yeah. We've got dirt on the grills though of these. I think we've got dirt on these ones as well. Dirt on the grill. Yep, dirt on the grills. So very nice. Showing the engine's been working hard. Next row down, we have the next variation. So these are all the same loco, just in their different livery. So we'll go over to 501 again, start again. Got a little bit of weathering to start here now. So the loco's been working hard. The other ones are all, so these ones here are basically 501's first variation. So they're all clean liveries. 502 with, again, with the nameplates. British Steel Teesside, British Steel Shelton. If I'm saying that name wrong, please do correct me. The nose ends are all clean. They're all very coloured up, just like they've been taken fresh out of works. We've got 504 with British Steel Corby with a black nameplate, and 505 with British Steel Workington. So very nice indeed. We're then going to go to one of the one-off liveries for a locomotive, which would be 71712, which is named the Cardiff Rod Mill. Very nice indeed. Got the plates and all that on them, so very nice indeed. And the plates were made by, before we go any further, they were made by, if I can find the manual, one moment. Sorry. I'll find that later on. There seems to be a loading problem. So this is one of the one-off liveries. But then we have 37506, which it should be down there, but there's an issue here. This is weathered, quite weathered actually. So we've got 506 with all the usual bells and whistles. Paints in right place with British Steel Skinning Grove. So we've got our little birdie there. Well, a different birdie this time. We've got rail freight and our usual markers. So it's a 5. All of these are 5s, I believe. So they're all same locomotive. Going on to the next row, which is here for the ones we're carrying on. So we'll start with 505. Got some more weathering on the locomotive. The plates have weathering. Oh no, that might still be clean. Looks a bit weathered from where the camera is. It's probably wrong camera angle. Again, looking very good. All got the nameplates again with Corby and a 503, which is again the weathering. I like where it is across the vents and where all that would come out. So very nice. Got our British Steel T-sign for 502. So very nice, very hard working livery. And then we have our last iteration for 501, and this is a heavily weathered livery now. So this is where the logo would have been quite desperate to be cleaned back in the day. We've got all this, we've got weathering all over it, even on the cab roof. So the cab roof's very clean. The ones here aren't. Just realised my mouse isn't showing anymore. I need to turn that back on at some point. But the cab roof on 501 is filthy. So then we need to fly back over here. And then we have a bit of an interesting one here because 712 somehow, now I'm not entirely sure how, because the nose ends are different, and yet we have this flush nose, and she seems to have stolen 501's nameplate. Now I'm not entirely sure why that was, because 501 and 712 I think at the same time wore this livery, not this livery, but this nameplate. So I'm not entirely sure why that is. I'm going to guess probably at the time that was if 501 was out of action. I don't know. So we've had a replacement nose end going down the side. We've got our weathering as well on the vents. We've also got next to it, we've got British Steel Skinny Grove again, so that's 506. Very nice. And so that's for shiny. Yeah, so that's for shiny one in the new livery. And then we go onto this one, back to 505. So we've got our heavily weathered livery. Still our nameplates. So all of these are heavily weathered. Well, heavier weathered. I think they have the most heavy weathered in the pack. And then we go to our first incarnation of 5-1 in the blue livery. So this livery was quite a thing back in the day because it's a blue livery on a hard working freight engine. In fact, I've just noticed something above the. Not sure that's meant to be there. That one needs looking at. Yeah, so we've got our steel symbol here. I believe it's a steel symbol. Not entirely convinced on that one, but yeah, it looks steel. And then we've got our blue logo with the line going down. We've got a birdie, nice birdie, and black nameplates and 501 with T's rail. So this is just coming out of the works. And then we've got. Yeah, I did all those, okay. And we'll go from this one and then we'll go further down. So this one, I think there's a colour difference here. This one looks this one looks more blue than that one. We've got the white wheels. Bogies haven't changed. The springs are white. The locomotive looks fantastic in this livery. And remember, I have worked with this locomotive. So the livery in this, and compared to what it is today, is spot on. We've also got our red nameplate. So it looks absolutely fantastic. And so the colours are bright on this one. So that looks very nice. Very nice indeed. Yeah. I don't know, there's one there. Maybe that's meant to be there. So walking down to the next livery, we have 505 in the Transrail Transrail livery with the Emily. Now, I believe from my knowledge of Transrail weren't around forever. They were around for a little bit, and I think they went under. Which one has British Steel Woking on it, and a red line here, and a bit of grey, which I really, really like on these. So that's that. We've also got snow plows. Well, plows. Someone's going to correct me on that. But this looks absolutely gorgeous. Going back over to 506. A little bit of weathering on this one. And again with our nameplate, so looking fantastic. Still 712 with the imposter nameplate, as I'm going to call it. I'm going to have to ask Sam why this is. Sam knows a bit more about the history of this period, I think, or someone else will, than I do. But I'm not sure why 712 had 501's nameplate, but it looks fantastic either way. Looks very nice. So, very nice indeed. But hang on a minute. It's changed again. What? Yeah. So one nose end has changed. Wait, what? Oh no, it's always been like that. Oh, okay. That's an interesting one. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. We'll move on. So, where are we? We're this one. So, yeah, this looks really nice. Dirt there. And now we're going to go to the last line. So, just 1 second. We're going to do our last bit of stuff before we go on to, apologies. Right. Before we go on to things. So here we are, T-side Steelmaster again. This is the last incarnation of this imposter loco. So we have our semi-flushed end at this end and the flushed end at the other for the nose. Yeah, it looks fantastic. The weathering is really good on these. On this one, the weathering is obviously quite severe, so the locomotive's dirty, it needs cleaning, it needs sorting out. But yeah, very nice indeed, 506. And now we go back to 501. Again, we've got a little bit of weathering on this, so in certain places you can tell by the dirt. Yep, so this one's just where it's starting to get a bit dirty, but it looks fantastic. And then she gained this very odd blue line. I'm not sure where this came from. I'm assuming this was the last incarnation. Well, last reskin, not the reskin, last paint job she had with the later blue line. I'm not sure why that is, but I think it looks pretty good. I'd still prefer these over the blue line, but it looks fantastic. So as you said, you got blue line, you got the line which is a bit dirty there. You've got the shiny paintwork, T-side Steelmaster, and a bit of weathering still on the loco. Very nice. We will go over to our interesting ones now. So these are the ones that are ones off or something like that. So we'll start with 717. 717 is stainless Pioneer with the steel logo above it right here. So very nice indeed. Walking down the locomotive, looks fantastic. Oh, just checking out. There's no differences on the nose. We've then got 718. There's only one of these for 718. I'm assuming that's because it wasn't there very long, or something. But looks fantastic. The nameplate looks absolutely spot on. So well done to the guys who've done that. And now we come to the last three. And well, you've seen it now, so my surprise is broken. 717 received this ghost livery for an unknown reason. I'm assuming the silver was to show, oh, if it's stainless, it's going to look clean. So very interesting, that. I think it's fantastic livery. I don't think 717's around anymore, although if it is, please put it back in this livery. It looks absolutely fantastic. I love these one-off liveries. And the roof is clean. It looks gorgeous. Brilliant. And then we'll come down to our last two. 507 and 501. These are both clean. You've got Stockton Haulage on one, and on the other you have Heart and Pipe Mill, sorry. Heart and Pipe. Oh. So, okay, so that's another loco with double names. Okay, cool. But as I said, these look fantastic. The numbers at the end and the buffers look fantastic. I mean, look at these buffers. And they're so cool. Square-ish, round, looks fantastic. And all of these have these fantastic buffers. Just look at that. Look at those buffers. So that is the British Steel Mega Pack Volume 2, and that will bring the British Steel Mega Pack in its entirety to a close. Sam, you've had your video. In the next one, we're going to be doing a steam locomotive in the next video. So I'm going to let you guys guess which one that is. That won't be until next week. So what we've got, so before I give you a little bit of a drive, well, not a little bit of drive, but a little image of these two, of some locomotives powering away, here are my thoughts on the pack. In total, I'm going to say it's a 10 out of 10 again. You can't go wrong with these guys. Some people call his own bias. I'm not biased. This is because I see nothing wrong with this pack. I don't know what the line is above the 501s, but I'm going to put that as a question. Not a markdown because that doesn't need it. However, apart from that, with it being a 10 out of 10, definitely if you are into your British Steel era locomotives and your routes and your time periods, go and download this pack. The link is in the description below. Download both packs. They're fantastic packs to have, and you'll get a lot of variation for what it's worth, for the pack's worth. So go right now, go to their website. I will put it up on the screen and in the description below. And hopefully in the next video, we'll have some exciting steam locomotive to play with. So thanks for watching the Regulator, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.